Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Rachel David White coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. Federal government cautions Obi against inciting violence. Senate queries State House and MDA's over 969 billion naira budgetary allocation. Plus, UK fines TikTok $15.9 million for flouting age limit rule. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in a moment. First, in the news this afternoon is a report that federal government has admonished the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, against inciting people to violence over the outcome of the presidential election. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, gave the admonition in Washington, D.C. during his official engagement with some international media organizations on the just concluded 2023 polls. So far, the minister has engaged the Washington Post, Voice of America, Associated Press and Foreign Policy magazine during the interactions with the media organizations. Mohammed said it was wrong for Obi on one breath to seek redress in court over the outcome of the polls and on another breath inciting people to violence. In another development, federal government says President Muhammadu Buhari has delivered on his pledge to leave behind a legacy of free, fair and credible elections in the conduct of the 2023 polls. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, stated this in Washington, D.C. during his official engagement with some international media organizations. The minister said, in fulfillment of the president's pledge to restore sanity into the electoral process, he resolved that he would not confer special advantage on any political party, including the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) during the election. He added that during the past elections, the president ensured that nobody used the security agencies to rig the election in his favor, but created a level playing ground for the elections to take place. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Public Service Reforms (BPSR) has urged the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, to enhance safe, secure shipping, cleaner oceans and maritime capacity in all the best global practices. The BPSR also disclosed that NIMASA has been promoted to the silver level after scoring 74% in performance. According to a statement by the Service Reforms, this was announced in its summary report on the deployment of the BPSR self-assessment tool, presented to the management of the agency by the Director General of the Bureau of Public Service Reforms, Arabi Dasuki. The statement further said that the Maritime Agency had also been promoted to Level 2, which implied that the agency's performance met expectations in essential areas of responsibility, resulting in an overall quality of work that was generally good, with the most critical organizational goals met. Away from that, former President Goodluck Jonathan has urged African leaders to make life easy for their citizens. The former Nigerian leader, who spoke at the maiden edition of the African Heritage Concert and Awards in Kigali, Rwanda, said such leaders should be concerned about the legacies they will be leaving behind. Jonathan's media aide, Wealth Ominabo, in a statement noted that the former president met the call after begging the African Democracy and Peace Icon Award, where he called on African leaders to avoid turning themselves into bosses of the people. He stressed that the duty of leaders is to run their countries properly and efficiently and not to dehumanize human beings and make their lives difficult. From the Red Chambers, the Senate, through its Public Accounts Committee, has queried the State House and 557 ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, over the failure to account for 969 billion naira intangible asset in the 2019 budget. Reports say a review of intangible asset notes to the Federal Government of Nigeria (FGN) indicates that the sum of 969 billion naira was categorized as intangible assets without a schedule showing the classification and nature of the assets, contrary to the provision of the International Public Sector Accounting Standard. Among the 558 agencies are the State House, Bureau of Public Enterprises, Bureau of Public Procurement, National Population Commission, Federal College of Forestry, Ibadan, Federal College of Forestry, Jos, National Orientation Agency, Bureau of Public Service Reforms, and Nigeria Police Academy, Wodili. The chairman, Senate Public Accounts Committee, Matthew Orogide, disclosed to newsmen that the proposed legislation sought to strengthen the office of the Auditor General for the Federation. On electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in Rivers State has requested the cooperation of all political parties seeking the inspection of the election materials used in the February 25 and March 18, 2023 polls, saying that it will discharge its constitutional and lawful duties without preferences or bias. INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner (REC) in the state, Johnson Sinikiem, said the request from 50 applicants for inspection of election materials will be granted. Sinikem noted that although the application of certified true copies of documents or an access for inspection of election materials are the legitimate entitlement of candidates and parties to election petitions, the documents are governed by processes and procedures which include payment of requisite fees, making photocopies of relevant documents and certification by the authorized official of the Commission. In a separate development, the Inspector General of Police IGP Osman Alkali Baba and the newly appointed Chairman of the Police Service Commission PSC, Solomon Arashe, have pledged to work together to promote a peaceful working relationship between the two institutions. The IGP and his management team congratulated the PSC chair on his appointment and subsequent swearing in, assuring him of the full cooperation of the Nigeria Police Force (NPF) to achieve an enviable policing system. Arashe, while appreciating the IGP and the force leadership for the thoughtful visit, assured that all necessary support would be deployed to ensure the NPF is repositioned for better service. He expressed optimism in the quest to build stronger ties, work out more areas of collaboration and improve discipline within the ranks of the force. In another development, the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) has organized training on the use of information and communication technology in modern warfare for President of the area's Nigerian Defense Academy. The move comes as part of NCC's effort to promote the integration of ICT into the military infrastructure of Nigeria and to enhance the capabilities of the country's armed forces in the realm of modern warfare. The Executive Vice Chairman and CEO of the Commission, Umar Dambata, disclosed this when officers cadre of the Course 72 of the NDA, Department of Computer Science, visited the Commission in Abuja. Dambata noted that no country or military institution should take electronics combat readiness for granted, while instructing the Nigerian military to do more in that aspect. On security, ahead of May 29th handover, the Defense Headquarters had vowed to resist anything that would truncate democracy. The Director of Defense Information, Tukur Gusau, stated this in an interview with newsmen in Abuja, just as the Chief of the Army Staff, Farouk Yahaya, threatened to crack down on potential threats to international security. He warned that indigenous people of Biafra, Eastern Security Network, and other fringe groups not to test the will of the military. Gusau added that the peaceful conduct of the general elections, despite the insecurity engendered by the outlawed groups, was a testament to the military's resolve to ensure security across the country. Away from that, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has received another batch of 144 stranded Nigerians from Niamey in Niger Republic. NEMA Coordinator Kano Territorial Office, Nuruddin Abdullahi, discloses while receiving the returnees at Aminu Kano International Airport in Kano. Abdullahi, represented by NEMA Kano Head of Human Resources Suleiman Abubakar, said the returnees were brought back under the care of the International Organization for Migration (IOM) from Niamey through a voluntary repatriation program. He added that the returnees include 106 male adults, 16 female adults, and 22 children, 10 females and 12 males. And now to Africa, where the government of South Sudan has dispatched additional 300 soldiers to neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, under the banner of the regional bloc. Reports say they will be part of the East African Regional Force fighting the M23 rebel group. According to Defense Minister Chol Balak, the additional soldiers bring the total number of South Sudan troops in the country to over 1,000. Balak said that the 300 soldiers will be deployed to Goma, the headquarters of the regional force, and they will be replaced after a year. Still in Africa, Kenya is reportedly preparing to launch its first ever Earth observation satellite in what is being described as the landmark achievement in the country's space exploration efforts. Reports say Nation 1, or Taifa 1 in Swahili, is scheduled to be launched next week aboard the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from the Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. The Defense Ministry and Kenya Space Agency said in a joint statement that the satellite is designed to provide Earth observation data for use in agriculture, food security, and environmental management. Recall that in 2018, Kenya launched its first experimental nano-satellite from the International Space Station. On a foreign scene, the Finnish flag is set to be raised at North Atlantic Treaty Organization NATO headquarters in Brussels. Russia's western neighbor becomes the 31st member of the Western Alliance. Finnish President Sauli Niinisto and the U.S. Secretary of State will be joining NATO ministries in the ceremony. Reports say the length of Russia's border with NATO member states has now doubled. Finland shares a 1,340 kilometers eastern frontier with Russia and formally applied to join NATO with Sweden last May because of Russia's war. Recall that they had previously both adopted a policy of non-alignment, but after the Ukraine invasion, they chose the protection of NATO's Article 5, which says an attack on one member is an attack on all. Still on a foreign scene, Britain's data regulator said today that it had fined TikTok £12.7 million for allowing up to 1.4 million children under 13 rather, to use its social media platforms in violation of its own rules. The Information Commissioner's office said the Chinese-owned firm broke UK law by failing to obtain the consent of parents or guardians to use the children's data after they had set up accounts despite being too young. TikTok disputed the ICO's findings, which adds to its woes after a wave of bans by Western government of the platform use on social devices, owing to fears that the data could be accessed by Beijing. Still to come in the news, NFF owes Super Falcons coach Randy Waldrum £64.4 million. Do stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. On our business news, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has approved 173 digital lending applications to operate in the country. According to the Commission's regulator, Guidelines for Digital Lending 2022, the aim is to regulate the digital lending space and make registration and approval prerequisites for companies seeking to operate in the space, noting that of the 173 digital lending applications, 119 have full approvals and 54 have conditional approvals. Reports say after shifting its deadline multiple times, the Commission adopted March 27, 2023 as the close of registration and has now released a list of approved apps that can operate in the country, adding that companies without approvals will not be able to operate in the space. Still in business, Shiba Inu, a meme-inspired cryptocurrency's price jumped today after Elon Musk changed the Bluebird logo of Twitter to a dog associated with a digital token, despite the mogul being sued over his previous promotion of the coin. His decision to change the logo to be a Shiba Inu dog, whether permanent or another short-lived joke, caused the price of Dogecoin to surge by more than 20% from below 0.08 to more than 0.10. According to a report, the Twitter chief has 133 million followers and has long used the platform for self-promotion and humor, occasionally also promoting Dogecoin, a highly volatile cryptocurrency initially created as a joke. Meanwhile, he is being sued for $258 billion by an investor who claims he lost massive amounts of money because of Musk activities, through the billionaire has dismissed the claims. In health, the World Health Organization WHO in its report says around 17.5% of adult population, 1 in 6 worldwide, experience infertility. The UN agency stated that the numbers of people affected by infertility calls for urgent need to increase access to affordable, high-quality fertility care worldwide. The WHO added that despite the magnitude of the issue, solutions for the prevention, diagnosis and treatment of infertility, including assisted reproductive technologies such as in vitro fertilization, remains underfunded and inaccessible to many due to high cost. social stigma, and limited availability. And still in health, the World Health Organization has said that investment in education, skills and decent jobs for health need to be prioritized to meet the rapidly growing demand for health and avert the projected shortage of 10 million health workers by 2030. The Global Health Body said this in a press statement issued ahead of its 75th anniversary on April 7, 2023. The organization, along with its 194 member states and other partners, are calling for a renewed drive for health equity in the face of unprecedented threats, advising government and leaders to take action in protecting and investing in healthcare workers who are at the forefront of the response to health and climate emergencies. And now to sport, where Manchester United defender Luke Shaw has signed a new 4-year contract to keep him at the club until June 2027. The 27-year-old will extend his stay at Old Trafford for more than a decade after joining from Southampton in 2014. Shaw has had an excellent season under manager Erik ten Hag, making 36 appearances in all competitions, scoring once and assisting 6 times. The defender has 29 England caps and scored 3 times, including the opening goal in the Euro 2020 final against Italy. And still in sport, the Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) is yet to pay Super Falcons coach Randy Waldrum for over a year. Recall that Waldrum was appointed as Nigeria's coach in October 2020, replacing Swedish tactician Thomas Dennerby. However, since his appointment, Waldrum has only received 2 months of pay from the NFF and has not been paid since last year. According to reports, the NFF is owing Waldrum 14 months of unpaid wages, meaning he has not been paid since February 2022. The situation is the same with Super Eagles coach Joseph Pesaro, who is being owed a backlog of salaries by the NFF. Despite the disappointing situation, both managers are still carrying on with their job on a day-to-day basis. On our entertainment news, Nigerian Afrobeat star Davido has set a new record on Apple Music with his latest album, Timeless. The music streaming service said in a tweet that the album has had the most first-day streams ever for an African album. The 17-track album was released on 31st March and is the musician's 4th. The album has reportedly already broken the record for the biggest debut week on Spotify Nigeria and met the biggest first-day streams on Boomplay. Meanwhile, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, is set to receive a Women Vision Award from feminist icon Gloria Steinem at a luxurious gala next month. According to the president and CEO of the foundation, Teresa Younger, this year's honorees for the Women Vision Awards is to celebrate 50 years of progress and power. A profile of the Duchess on the MS Foundation's website notes that Meghan is one of the most powerful and influential women in the world. The Women of Vision Awards Gala is designed to explore the past, present, and future of the foundation and feminist movement while raising funds for the organization's strategic equity-centered initiative. And that's all we have for you at this time. Don't sure to follow us on social media and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Rachel David White. Good afternoon.